Hi everybody, welcome to Skandasana and welcome to your happy and healthy hip day. So today we're really going to focus on getting into the hips, opening them up and really finding that deep release. So get started on the middle of your mats, come into Skandasana where you bring one heel in towards your midline and the other heel in front of that heel. Try to really stay long and erect with your spine, finding length from your tailbone to your crown. And perhaps rest the tops of your hands on your knees. Maybe you can bring your finger to touch your thumb, your pointer finger. Then close your eyes. Settle in. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And a slow exhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Perhaps set your intention for your practice or for your day. Maybe your intention is just to focus on your hips and allow yourself to dig a little deeper. Or maybe your intention is something completely outside of that, whatever you feel. For the rest of your practice, try to continue breathing in and out through your nose, deeply and slowly, always returning to the breath whenever you find yourself feeling tension or a little bit of stress or emotions coming up. Returning to that life force, the pranayama. Beautiful. Open your eyes. Place your palms on your knees. Start to take little rolls forward to the right, back and around. Just kind of warming up here. Breathing deeply. Rolling forward, side, back, around. And then let's switch. But before we switch directions, switch the feet. So the other heel comes in towards your midline, and then the other heel in front of that heel. And now we can switch and roll to the other side. So moving forward, side, back, around. You might find yourself feeling a little more tension on one side than the other. Maybe one knee is a little higher this time, like it is for me. Totally normal for us to have these imbalances, these incongruencies between the two sides of our body. But always trying to move forward to find that symmetry and that balance. Beautiful. All right, come to middle. Stand still, spine erect. And then let's move into our tabletop position. Come to the sides and onto your hands and knees. Knees stacked right under the hips and your shoulders are over the wrists. Inhale, take your cow pose. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. Drop the belly. Exhale for cat, round that spine upward. Now let's take some movement with that. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, and now slightly turn your hips to one side. Come into cat as you turn your hips to the other side and look down. Continue that rolling motion, lower the hips, hips go to one side, roll the hips to the other side as you round the spine up. Coming to the side into cow, other side into cat. One side into cow, and the other side into cat. Let's switch directions. Hips go the other way as you come down into cow, and then they go the other way as you round up into cat. Just continue that rolling motion of your hips. Really find that stretch as you go through your spine, through your hips, just feeling good in these movements. A couple more. Feeling so nice. And then come to neutral. From neutral, tuck your toes under. Take a moment here. Hover your knees up off the mat. Hold it here. Really wrap those ribs in as you hold in your core and create heat in your torso. On your next exhale, push your hips up and back as you straighten your legs, coming in a downward facing dog. Perhaps keeping a micro bend in your knees. Maybe you can even open your feet a little wider to give yourself a little more space here to start. Really root down through all of your fingertips, through your palms. And now maybe start to lengthen those heels a little more and more towards the mat. So nice. Finding that length in your back and in your hamstrings. Bend your knees and slightly walk your feet into their hips with distance again. Now try that again. Start to lengthen those heels down towards the mat as you find the extension in your spine, staying long, and the length in your hamstrings. Beautiful. On your inhale, move forward into high plank, top of a push-up. Hold your inhale. Exhale, lower halfway, bending your elbows. Arms are close to your body, then lower all the way to the mat. On your inhale, lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. Come into cobra pose. Push the tops of your feet into the mat. Stay lifted here. Take 3 deep breaths here. With each inhale, trying to lift a little higher, not pushing with your hands, but rather using your back. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, release your head to the mat. Tuck your toes under. Come through tabletop position. Push into tabletop. Good. And now push those feet into the mat as you lift your knees and send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Look forward in between your hands. Gently step or hop to the top of the mat. Take your forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms come overhead. And then exhale, arms down by your sides. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, sit your hips back and down. Shift your weight into your left leg and lift your right foot up off the mat. Now cross that right ankle on top of your left knee, coming into your figure 4 chair. Cactus the arms open here. Find a little extension in the spine, and then lift the arms back overhead. Stay neutral. Let's try that again. Cactus, little bit of a back bend, and come back up. One more time, cactus. It's hard to balance here, I know. Arms come back up. Release the right foot down on the mat and take your forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, plant the palms. Step the feet to the back of the mat, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, take your back bend, pulling your chest forward and through for upward facing dog or cobra. Then exhale as you tuck your toes. Shift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up behind you. Keep your shoulder square. Open the right hip up. Bend the right knee. Really try to find some openness in your hips here. Maybe that right foot points down at the mat behind you. Then if you want to take it one step further, you can flip your dog by stepping that right foot behind you, lifting the right arm up off the mat, and extending that right hand towards the front of the room. Come back to your 3-legged dog. This time evening out the hips, squaring the hips. Then step the right foot through in between your hands, coming into your low lunge. Stay here a moment. Just stay low. Really find length here. And then lower the back knee onto the mat. From here, start to walk your right foot over towards your left hand. And then bring your right knee down to the mat for pigeon pose. Find the length in your spine, and then exhale as you walk your hands forward, folding over your right knee. Start to lift your gaze, walk your hands back. We're going to try to take a twist here now in our pigeon pose. So walk your hands to the right side of your right leg, your right thigh, and then bow your torso forward and hook your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. Try to lift your torso in the twist. Maybe keep your right hand grounded, or you can see if you could try to bring that right hand in prayer on top of the left, and then twist a little further. This is a deep one. Good. Come back to center. Frame your knee with your hands. Tuck your back toes under, lift up your back knee. Push your hands into the mat as you lift your right knee up off the mat, and then step that right foot back in between your hands. Spin the back heel down onto the mat, walk the right hand to the inside of the right foot, and extend your left arm to the ceiling for extended side angle. Either staying here, or if you want a gentler variation, bring your right elbow on top of your right knee. And now can you extend that left arm overhead, bicep near the ear, left fingertips towards the front of the room. Beautiful. And now turn down your head to look at your right foot. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot as you lower your left hand to the mat. Both hands are inside of your right foot now. Heel toe your right foot out to the outer edge of the mat, giving some more space in between. Stay here. Lizard lunge with the back knee lifted. If this is really hard on you and it's really deep into your hips, feel free to take it a little gentler by lowering the back knee and untucking those toes. Either way, just getting deep into those hips. So if you've got the back knee lifted or you've got it lowered, you can also choose to bring one forearm or both down onto the mat. So nice. From here, come back onto your palms and then lower, if you haven't already, your left knee, untuck the left toes. We're going to take a little twist here. Start to kick that back heel in towards your hips. Open the right arm to the sky and then reach it back. Try to grab that right foot and bring it in closer to your hips, to your glutes. Twisting the torso to the right. If you can't grab your heel, just reach for it. Just find that feeling of reaching and finding a little extra movement, a little extra openness with each breath. Beautiful. Release the foot, let it come down to the mat. Bring the right hand back to the inside of the right foot. And now tuck your toes under to lift up your back knee. Walk your right foot into the center or more to the center of the mat as your right hand comes out to the right side of your right foot. Lower the left knee down, untuck those left toes, shift the hips back as you flex the right toes towards your face, straightening the right leg for Ardha Hanumanasana half splits pose. Bowing forward over that right leg, flexing the right foot back towards your face. Good. Bend the right knee, and tuck the left toes under. Lift up the left knee. Step your left foot forward next to your right. Take your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand as your arms come overhead. Urdhva Hasta Tadasana. Exhale, release your hands by your sides. Inhale, arms come overhead. Sit the hips back and down as you shift the weight into the right foot. Lift up the left knee, cross the left ankle on top of the right knee. Figure 4 chair, pigeon chair. Take a slight back bend as you cactus your arms. Focus on a point upward on the ceiling. Then come back up with your torso with your arms. 2 more times. Take a cactus, slight back bend. And lift up. Last time, cactus the arms, open your heart. And arms come up, gaze comes forward. Release the left foot onto the mat. Take your forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge, folding, plant the palms, bend the knees, step the feet to the back of the mat, high plank. Exhale, bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, pull the chest forward and through. Take your upward facing dog. Exhale, hips go up and back as you tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up behind you. Keep the shoulder square. Open the hip. Bend the left knee. Point those left toes behind you on the mat. Perhaps flipping your dog. stepping the left foot behind you, lifting the left arm overhead and reaching it towards the front of the room as you find a back bend. Come back to three-legged dog. Extend that left leg up, squaring off the hips, and then step the left foot in between the hands, taking your low lunge here. Just staying low as we start to ground ourselves and open the hips on this side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale, lower that right knee onto the mat. Untuck those right toes. All right, start to heel toe that left foot in towards your right hand and bring the left knee down to the mat. Coming into pigeon pose. First, find extension and length through your spine, sitting up straight. And then on your next exhale, walk your hands out in front of you, bowing over that bent knee, maybe bringing the forehead to the mat. Deep breaths through your nose. Allowing yourself to release. And then start to walk your hands back towards your midline. From here, try to take your twist. Now, walking your hands to the outside of your left knee, trying to keep your hips square. Bend your torso forward so you can hook the outside of your right elbow on your left knee. Perhaps you can lift up that left hand, placing it on top of the right, and find a further twist with prayer hands. Good. Come back to center. Hands are framing the left knee. Tuck the right toes under as you lift up the right kneecap. Push the mat away with your hands as you lift the left knee up and step the left foot back in between your hands. Walk the left hand to the inside of your left foot as you spin your back heel down onto the mat, toes facing outward. Extend your right arm to the sky for extended side angle. Remember, you can always bring that elbow up on top of your knee. And then reach the right arm forward towards the front of the room, bicep near the ear. Beautiful. Look down at your left foot. Release the right hand to the mat as you pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Heel toe that left foot out slightly towards the outer edge of the mat. Both hands are in the inside of your left foot. Stay lifted on your hands, or you can lower down onto your forearms. And remember, you can always lower that back knee down and untuck those back toes to make it a little gentler on your body. Beautiful. If you're on your forearms, come back onto your palms. And now everyone, if you haven't already, lower your back knee onto the mat. Untuck those back toes. You're going to reach up with your left hand and then reach back as you kick that right foot in towards your hips, towards your glutes, and try to grab it. And if you can't grab it, just that feeling of reaching and kicking that foot in towards your glutes, it's going to give you a stretch. It's going to give you some strengthening. And of course, you're twisting from your torso. Untwist the body, release the foot. Hands come back down in front of you. Now you're going to tuck the back toes under, lift up the back knee. As you heel toe that left foot in towards your center, bringing the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Now you're back in this low lunge. Release the back knee onto the mat, untucking those toes, and now straighten the front leg, flexing the left foot towards your face. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits pose. Really bowing forward deeply over that extended front leg. Try to square off your hips here. Maybe slide that left foot forward. You can always take this into full splits if you would like. Beautiful. Bend the left knee. Tuck the back toes under as you lift the right kneecap up off the mat and step your right foot next to your left at the top of the mat. Take your forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand as your arms come overhead. Urdhva Tadasana. Exhale, release your hands by your sides. Beautiful. Come back to the middle of the mat and turn to face the long edge. Open the feet up a little wider than your shoulders and turn the feet outward. Sit the hips back and down as you bring your hands to prayer and push the knees away from each other with your elbows in Malasana, Yogi squat. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale. Really find length from your tailbone to your crown. Doesn't matter how low you can get to where it feels good in your body, where you're getting into those hips, and just breathe deeply. Then plant your palms on the mat in front of you as you lift your hips up. Turn the toes to the front of the room. Keep this length, this width between your feet, and just try to fold forward, keeping the weight into the balls of your feet, taking a narrow Prasarita Padottanasana, a narrow wide-legged forward fold. Maybe walking your hands back in between your feet and just bowing forward, allowing the forehead to come closer and closer to the mat. And then walk your hands forward on the mat. Turn the toes outward, come back into Malasana, Yogi squat. This time, maybe heel toe those feet in a little closer so you have a little less distance in between the heels. Again, long spine here. Find that lift and that length. Plant the palms on the mat, lift the hips, turn the toes to face forward. Again, an even narrower stance here, so we've got a little, just about shoulder width in between the feet. Forward fold. Turn the toes outward, bring the heels closer together. So we're going to come even closer with the heels. I've got about a 3 or 4 inch gap in between my heels. Sit the hips back and down. As you come into Malasana again, those heels are really close together this time. Come into your prayer pose and either stay here or maybe wrap your hands around your backs of your heels and try to bow forward, coming into a more traditional version of Malasana. Beautiful. Unwrap the heels. Bring the hands out in front of you. Push your hips up as you straighten your legs towards the front of the room. Heel toe your feet now a pretty wide distance with the toes facing forward. Come into a really wide-legged forward fold now. Try to bring your forehead down towards the mat, maybe touching the mat. Weight is shifted forward into the balls of your feet. Push the mat away as you lift your extended spine so it's parallel to the mat. Bend your left knee or your right knee and come to Skandasana on one side. We're going to do both sides. Just come to which side you feel like coming to first. Maybe you can bring the hands to heart center and push your elbow into that inside of your knee so you can push it more outward. Come down as low as feels good in your body. Perhaps you can flex the extended foot towards your face. And then plant your palms on the mat. Lift your hips back up. Let's go to the other side. Bend one knee, come down to one side. Malasana Yogi squat, Skandasana Yogi lunge. Hands to heart center. Lift your spine. Find extension here. Then plant the palms. Push the mat away as you lift your hips. Toes point forward. Come into your wide-legged forward fold once more. Bring your forehead close to the mat. Maybe walking the hands out behind you. And then walk your hands forward on the mat. Heel toe those feet all the way in so they're hips width distance. And take one more forward fold here. Maybe wrapping your hands around the backs of your ankles. Bend your knees, slowly roll up to standing. Arms come by your sides. Beautiful. Turn to face the short edge of the mat. Lift your arms overhead. Come up onto your tippy toes. Find your balance. And now staying on your toes, come into chair pose. Then lower your hips all the way down onto your heels. And then finally, allow your heels to come down to the mat and roll back all the way down onto the mat. Extend your legs long on the mat. Lift your right leg in towards your midline, and now try to pull the right knee into your right armpit. So avoiding the rib cage, it comes out slightly to the right, just a little bit slightly. And then wrap your hands around the right shin. Try to find a grounding through your backside body here. So your entire spine is rooted down, your neck is long, back of your head is on the mat, and you're just pulling that right knee in towards your right armpit for Ardha Appanasana. Maybe feeling a tiny pinch in your right hip flexor. Just breathe through it, it's okay. Bring your left hand on top of your left knee. Cactus your right arm to the side. And now pull the left knee across your body, finding a spinal twist. Come back to center and extend your right leg long on the mat. Bring your left knee in towards your chest. Wrap your hands around the top of the shin and try to pull the left kneecap into your left armpit. Again, avoiding the rib cage so it comes a little out to the left. Pulling up and in. Back is long, spine is grounded. Deep inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Place your right hand on top of your left knee as you cactus your left arm out to the side, and then pull your left knee across your body to the right, finding that spinal twist. Melt the left shoulder blade down. Allow yourself to move in these two opposite directions here, with your top side of your body moving to the left and the bottom side moving to the right. Really squeezing out that body, squeezing through the midline, getting all those great benefits as we twist. On your next inhale, come back to center. Extend your legs long on the mat and extend your arms above you. Really pull away from your feet. So your hands pull up, your feet pull down. And then open your feet up as wide as the mat. Extend your arms by your sides with the palms facing upward. Open the feet, just let them gently release to each side as they naturally fall into that position. Close your eyes. Slow down your breathing. Slow down your thoughts. Let everything melt away as you rest in our final pose, Savasana. Gently begin to bring your awareness back into your space as you move your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees, soles of the feet come to the mat. And then perhaps roll to the side and push up, or grab under one knee or both and gently rock up to a seated position. Maybe coming into Skandasana like we took at the beginning of class, with the palms facing upward, the index and thumb touching. Perhaps returning to that intention you set at the beginning of class and asking yourself if anything needs to be done with it, if it has been done, if it has changed, if new thoughts and feelings and intentions have arisen because of it. Inhale as you bring your hands overhead, bring the palms to touch, and exhale, bring the hands down in front of your heart center, feeling gratitude for your practice, for your body, for this time that you give to yourself. I am so grateful that you have chosen to share this time with me today. Namaste.